"Don't talk to me at this party. You're embarrassing," she demanded at the door. I said, "Deal. Let me take you back to where this all started, because you need the full picture to understand what happened. My name's Marcus, early 30s, high school history teacher at a decent public school in the suburbs. Not glamorous, but meaningful work. I met Vanessa 4 years ago at a community theater production. She was performing in a local rendition of Chicago, all energy and charisma on stage. I was there because my colleague had dragged me along. Vanessa was magnetic, the kind of woman who commanded attention without trying. Me? I was the steady one, the guy who showed up on time, remembered birthdays, planned thoughtful surprises. Hello friends, before I continue the story, please support the channel by becoming a subscriber and giving the video a like. Also, let us know in the comments where you're watching right now. We connected after the show at the cast party. She was drawn to my quiet confidence, or so she said. I was fascinated by her passion for performance, her dreams of making it bigger than community theater. Within months, we were inseparable. She moved into my place after a year. Small 2-bedroom rental, nothing fancy, but it was ours. I supported her completely. When she quit her admin job to pursue acting full-time, I picked up summer school sessions to cover the gap. Drove her to auditions 2 hours away. Sat through countless rehearsals in freezing theaters. Made dinner so she could focus on memorizing lines. Emotional labor? I was her foundation. Her dad's death in year 2 nearly broke her. I held her through sleepless nights, handled funeral arrangements she couldn't face, became the barrier between her and a world that felt too heavy. But cracks form slowly, don't they? Vanessa started landing bigger roles. Community theater turned to regional productions. Suddenly she was networking constantly, attending industry mixers, posting headshots and behind-the-scenes clips online. Her follower count grew. So did the comments from guys in the theater scene. One in particular, Derek. Director type, mid-30s, always wore scarves indoors like some artistic cliché. He'd comment on everything she posted. "Stunning work, V. Can't wait to collaborate again." I mentioned it once, casually. She laughed it off. "Marcus, it's just professional. Don't be that boyfriend who doesn't understand the industry." I wasn't being that boyfriend. I was being observant. But I trusted her. We talked about marriage. Kids someday. I'd already looked at rings, started a savings account specifically for that. Meanwhile, the distance grew. Fewer quiet nights together. More networking dinners and cast bonding sessions. I'd grade papers alone in our apartment, eat microwaved leftovers, and wait up until midnight when she'd stumble in, buzzing about the industry connections she'd made. "We need to be more social, Marcus. Your teacher friends are sweet, but they don't get my world. We need to mix with people who have ambition." I tried meeting her halfway, hosted a dinner party once with her theater friends and my colleagues. Mixed crowd. I thought it went well, but afterward she critiqued me for an hour. "You talk too much about the Civil War unit you're teaching. Nobody cares about lesson plans. Read the room." That stung. Teaching was my passion, but I swallowed it. Love means compromise, right? Wrong as it turned out. The breaking point came at Brandon's rooftop party. Brandon was one of Vanessa's co-stars, throwing a celebration for their show's extended run. Big deal in their circle. She'd been hyped about it for 2 weeks. Everyone who's anyone in the regional scene will be there. I got ready in khakis and a casual blazer. My standard. Vanessa spent 3 hours getting ready. Designer dress I didn't recognize, makeup that could have been stage level. We were supposed to leave together, but she changed plans last minute. "Actually, Derek's picking me up early. We need to discuss the next production. Just meet me there around 9. Red flag? Maybe. But I gave her space. Arrived at 9:15. The party was already packed. Rooftop overlooking downtown. String lights everywhere. DJ spinning. Open bar. I spotted Vanessa immediately near the railing, laughing in a circle that included Derek. His hand rested on the small of her back. I approached with a smile. "Hey, this place is incredible." She turned. Her expression went from animated to flat in a heartbeat. Not annoyance exactly, disappointment. She grabbed my elbow, steering me away from the group. Away from Derek. Marcus, what are you wearing? Her voice was low, urgent. I glanced down, confused. What I always wear. Why? Exactly. God, I told you this was an industry thing. You look like you're chaperoning a field trip. She glanced back at Derek and the others, then hissed at me. Listen, don't talk to me at this party. Okay? You're embarrassing. Derek's here with producers, casting directors. I need to network, and I can't have you hovering with your teacher small talk and boring stories about standardized testing. Just find a corner. Grab a drink. We'll leave together later if you want. Embarrassing. The word landed like a punch. After 4 years. After everything I'd sacrificed, every audition I'd driven her to, every emotional breakdown I'd walked her through. I was embarrassing. I felt my face go hot, but I didn't raise my voice. Years of managing rowdy teenagers had taught me control. Deal, I said evenly. She blinked, surprised maybe that I didn't argue. Good, I'll text you later. She turned back to her group, laughing louder as if I'd never existed. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds. Music thumping, people everywhere. Part of me wanted to make a scene, demand respect right there. But no, dignity first. I walked out, down the stairs, out to my car parked 3 blocks away. No dramatic exit, no texts, just gone. 45 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Her name lit up the screen. Where are you? People are asking about you. I sat in my car, parked outside a 24-hour diner, staring at the message. The hurt was there, sharp and fresh, but so was clarity. I typed back, somewhere I'm not embarrassing. Sent. Then blocked her number. No hesitation. No second guessing. Done. I sat in that diner until 2 a.m., drinking bad coffee and processing. How had I missed it? The subtle put-downs, the prioritization of her world over ours, the way she'd slowly rewritten our relationship so I was the supporting character in her story. I'd been so focused on being loyal, being steady, that I'd let myself become invisible. By the time I drove home, one thing was certain. I wasn't going back. The next week was mechanical. We shared the apartment, but she was gone when I returned from the party. Probably crashed at Derek's, I figured. I didn't ask around. Didn't check social media. I just started packing. I took only what was mine. Clothes, books, my grandmother's quilt, my laptop. Left her stuff untouched. No note, no confrontation. By Thursday, I'd moved into a small furnished rental across town. 1 bedroom, walking distance to school. Sparse but mine. Work became my anchor. I poured myself into teaching. Redesigned my curriculum, started an after-school history club. Joined a gym near the new place. Nothing extreme, just consistency. It helped clear my head. The confusion gnawed at me though. Why wasn't I enough? I'd been everything she said she wanted. Supportive, present, loyal, and in return, public humiliation. I remembered specific moments with brutal clarity. The time I'd driven through a blizzard to pick her up from a rehearsal that ran late because her car wouldn't start. The night I'd cooked her favorite pasta after a bad audition, only for her to barely touch it while scrolling through Derek's Instagram. The weekend I'd surprised her with tickets to see a Broadway touring show, and she'd spent intermission texting about work stuff. I'd given pieces of myself away. And for what? 3 weeks in, I heard from mutual friends. Jenna, one of Vanessa's castmates who I'd always liked, texted, "Hey Marcus, what happened? Vanessa says you just disappeared." I kept it simple. Needed space. We're done. Jenna pushed gently. She seems really upset. Maybe talk it out. Not interested. I left it there. Internally, though, the unfairness burned. She was upset. She'd publicly rejected me, chosen her networking over basic respect. But I didn't vent online. Didn't badmouth her to friends. Dignity meant rebuilding quietly. I started saying yes to things I'd avoided. Trivia nights with colleagues. Weekend hiking trips. Even tried a pottery class, mostly for the novelty. Made some new friends. People who appreciated my boring interests like historical documentaries and nerdy debates about Reconstruction policy. 2 months in, I dipped into dating apps. Nothing serious. Coffee dates. Conversations. Reminders that I wasn't the problem. Met a woman named Claire, an ER nurse. Grounded. Sharp sense of humor. We kept it casual, but it felt easy. Natural. No performance required. Around that time, the first whispers started reaching me. Mike, a guy I played basketball with occasionally who knew Vanessa peripherally, mentioned over beers. Saw your ex is all over social with that Derek guy. Pretty public. I nodded. Expected. Good for them. Inside? Yeah, it twisted. Confirmation that I'd been right. Emotional cheating at minimum, probably more. But I didn't spiral. Instead, it fueled me. A promotion opportunity came up at school. Department chair position. More responsibility, modest pay bump. I applied. Nailed the interview. Got it. Treated myself to a solo road trip. Drove down the coast for a long weekend. No agenda. Just music, ocean views, and silence. For the first time in years, I felt light. The confusion was lifting. I saw her clearly now. Someone who valued image over substance. Who'd chase validation wherever it sparkled brightest. I also saw myself clearly. I'd been complicit in my own erasure, bending so much I'd nearly disappeared. Not anymore. What I didn't know was that her shiny new life was already fracturing. But I'd find that out soon enough. The unraveling started about 3 months after the party. I wasn't tracking her. I'd unfollowed, unfriended, removed every digital thread connecting us. But in a town this size, especially in overlapping social circles, information finds you. Mike reached out again. We met at our usual sports bar for a game. He seemed hesitant, nursing his beer too long before speaking. So, Vanessa's situation. You hear anything? I shrugged. Not following it, right? Well, he leaned in. Apparently things with Derek went south. Fast. Turns out he's a controlling mess. Yells at her in front of cast members. Dictates what roles she can audition for. And word is he's been seeing other women the whole time. Multiple actresses. It's become theater scene gossip. I absorbed that, sipping my drink. Irony wasn't lost on me. She traded stability for excitement and found chaos instead. Rough, I said, voice neutral. No satisfaction creeping through. Mike continued. More than that. The show they were in together closed early. Budget issues or something. And Derek apparently blamed Vanessa publicly. Said her drama was affecting the production. She's been blacklisted from a few theater groups now. Can't get cast. Sounds like she's got a lot to figure out, I replied, keeping it flat. She's been asking about you. Wants to know if you're seeing anyone. If you're okay. Regret dressed up as concern. Classic. Tell her I'm fine. Better, actually. Mike nodded, reading the subtext. We moved on to the game. But the dam was cracking for her. A week later, an unknown number called me during my lunch break. I almost didn't answer. Hello, Marcus. It's Vanessa. Please don't hang up. Her voice was different. Smaller. Shaky. I stayed quiet for a beat. Then, what do you need? Pause. Like she was gathering courage. I miss you. Derek was a mistake. Huge mistake. He seemed exciting, you know? Passionate about the work. But he's awful. Controlling. Degrading. He cheated constantly. I should have seen it coming. You were always so good to me. Steady. I took that for granted. There it was. Steady. The same trait she'd dismissed as boring. Steady was boring before, I said calmly. I was wrong. Her voice pitched higher. Work's falling apart too. Can't get cast anywhere because of the rumors Derek spread. I'm barely making rent doing temp admin work. Friends from the scene won't return my calls. They all took his side. My sister's been supportive, but even she thinks I screwed up. Marcus, I need you. Can we please meet? Talk this through. Desperation laced every syllable. But it didn't move me. I spent 3 months building something new. Something where I wasn't anyone's fallback. That's not my problem anymore, Vanessa. But we had something real. You can't just throw away 4 years. I didn't throw it away. You did. At that party. Silence. Then her voice hardened just slightly. So you're really going to hold one bad night over my head forever? People make mistakes. One bad night. The minimization was breathtaking. It wasn't one night. It was the culmination of being undervalued for years. I'm done. I hung up, blocked the number. No anger, no yelling, just finality. That call should have been the end. But she wasn't finished. Over the next month, the attempts escalated. Texts from burner numbers. Marcus, please. We need closure. Delete. Block. Voicemails from unknown numbers. I know I hurt you, but I'm struggling. Derek threatened me last week. Screamed at me in public. You're the only person who ever really cared. Threatened her. That gave me pause. A flicker of old instinct to protect. But no, I wasn't her savior. She'd made choices. Consequences followed. Deleted. Then her family got involved. Her sister Rachel, who I'd always gotten along with, called from her number. I answered out of courtesy. Marcus, you need to talk to Vanessa. She's falling apart. Rachel, I appreciate the call, but this isn't something I'm getting involved in. She made a mistake. A stupid one. But she's paying for it. Derek's been horrible to her. The industry's turned on her. She's depressed. You were always so supportive. She needs that now. She needs a therapist. Not an ex she publicly humiliated. Rachel's tone shifted. Are you really that petty? After everything you two built? I'm not petty. I'm protecting myself. You're being selfish. She's in crisis. Her crisis isn't my responsibility. She made that clear at the party. Rachel hung up, frustrated. But I felt nothing. Boundaries held. The peak came about 4 months in. A Saturday morning. Knock on my door. Unexpected. Since my building has a buzzer system. I opened it. Vanessa. Hair unkempt. Eyes red-rimmed. Rachel standing behind her, arms crossed. Marcus, please. Let us in. I held the door mostly closed. What is this? I had to see you, Vanessa said, voice breaking. Texting wasn't working. I need you to understand. That night at the party I was insecure. Derek was flattering me, making me feel important. Like I mattered in this industry. You were safe. Too safe. I wanted to prove I was more than just your girlfriend. But it was all fake. Derek used me, humiliated me, destroyed my reputation. I've lost everything. But you, Marcus, you were real. Loyal. Let's fix this. I'll change. I promise. Her words tumbled out, shifting from apologetic to desperate. Rachel chimed in. She's serious. She screwed up. But you're not perfect either. You could have fought harder for her that night instead of just leaving. Could have fought harder. The gaslighting was almost impressive. I looked at Vanessa. Really looked. The woman who'd made me feel small. Who'd prioritized image over partnership. Who was now rewriting history to make me complicit in her choices. No, Vanessa. You don't want me. You want the stability I provided. I've built a life without that toxicity. You need to do the same. Her face twisted. Desperation morphed to anger. You think you're so much better now? With your little promotion and your boring routine? Fine. Stay alone. You'll regret this when I'm back on top. Rachel pulled her away, muttering something about wasting time. I closed the door. Locked it. Heart pounding but steady. No sympathy. No guilt. After that, silence. Real silence. I thrived. Claire and I got more serious. Started talking about future plans. Work flourished. I published an article in an education journal about experiential learning in history classes. Small win but mine. The unfairness that had fueled those early months faded. Replaced by gratitude. I dodged something that would have hollowed me out completely. But there was one final encounter. 6 months after that party. Jenna's wedding. I debated going. Too many connections to the old world. But Claire encouraged me. Show them you're good, she said. So we went. Me in a tailored suit. Claire in an elegant dress. The venue was a converted barn upstate. Rustic, beautiful. Full of people from both Jenna's theater world and her fiancé's corporate circle. I spotted Vanessa during cocktail hour. She was alone near the bar, thinner, wearing a dress that looked expensive but hung wrong. Our eyes met across the space. She approached, determined. Marcus, didn't think you'd come. Jenna invited me. Seemed right to celebrate with her. Vanessa glanced at Claire, standing beside me. Jealousy flickered. Who's this? My girlfriend, Claire. Vanessa barely acknowledged her. Focused on me. Can we talk? Privately? Not much to say. Please. 5 minutes. Her voice dropped. I've been thinking about that night. The party. What I said to you. I was cruel. Embarrassing you like that. It was the worst thing I've ever done. Derek ruined me. Lost my career. Reputation. Friends. But seeing you now, you're thriving. I want that. I'll do anything. Her plea hung in the air. People nearby glanced over. Public, just like her betrayal had been. The power had flipped entirely. Me composed. Her unraveling. I echoed her words from that night, calm and deliberate. You said I was embarrassing. Turns out, chasing validation was the real embarrassment. For you. She flinched. I know. I was wrong. Can't you forgive me? Forgive. Maybe someday in some abstract sense. But reconcile? Never. Vanessa, you're not part of my life anymore. I've got meaningful work. Real friends. Someone who respects me. I gestured to Claire, the space around us. This is what moving forward looks like. You're a chapter I've closed. Her eyes welled. You'll never find what we had. I smiled slightly. I already found better. Claire and I walked away. Danced later. Laughed with friends. Vanessa left early. Alone. I saw her glance back once from the doorway. Recognition settling in. What she'd discarded, I'd rebuilt into something stronger. That was the last I saw her. No more contact. Blocked on everything. Boundaries like steel. If the story resonates with you, here's what I learned. Walk away with dignity. Don't beg. Don't explode. Just detach. Build your life into something they can't touch. Karma doesn't need your help. It'll find them. Thank you for watching all the way through. There's another story to your left screen. You'll enjoy it more than this one.